Hey guys, Bart from TST Industries here. Welcome to TST Garage. Today's video, I have a 2018 Kawasaki Ninja 400 in the shop with me, and we will be focusing on showing you how to install TST Industries LED pod signal lamps on that bike. The bike's actually been outfitted with our TST Industries fender eliminator already. That was segment 1 of this series. Segment 2, we showed you how to remount your OEM signals on that setup using our remount kit. In this segment, like I said, we're gonna install these guys on there. Now we have two different options for you. One is called BL6, and then the other ones are ARO18. They just have different LEDs inside. They're both really bright. These are just slimmer and I think a little bit more sexier. This is our updated design we just rolled out with these this year. These feature 6 SMD type LED chips, and these guys just have regular through hole 5mm LEDs. 18 count of those LEDs on there, 6 in here. These are available in smoked or clear lens, and these are available in only clear. So once you've made your choice of which type of lamp you're gonna go with, the installation is exactly the same on the bike. You use our pod signal mounting kit, and then for this particular bike, we encourage you to get the Kawasaki type harness converters. They terminate in bullet connectors on one side, and take these bullet connectors, the male side from our signals, and the other side will enable you to just plug and play, connect right into your harness. So there's a number of ways to order this off our website. If you want just one all-inclusive kit, we do have them. They also save you some money, and they give you all that's necessary to outfit this bike with these signals. They also give you the choice of which lamp you're gonna go with. So one click, add to cart button, and you're good to go. A couple extra things I want to touch on. We do have Y splitters. If you're going to be using an integrated taillight like we have on this bike, chances are if you're using that in conjunction with a signal lamp setup, you will need 2 sets of females that plug through a male. So this will enable you to plug this and the taillight into one plug without having to hack up any of your wires. Another consideration is when you go from the OEM incandescent light bulb type lamps to LED lamps, the signaling system on these bikes is designed to start flashing really fast because these guys draw much less current and the bike's trying to alert you something's off. So for that purpose, we have our Gen 2F flasher relay that is a plug and play component. It's a really simple installation. We'll shoot a separate video on that. Look for that later. For now, let's just focus on the installation of these parts and let's have some fun on the bike. All right, so for this install, I've chosen the smoked lens variant of these signals. This bike has a very nice stealthy theme going on, so we're gonna continue with that with our smoked lens. We are also going to be making use of our harness converters and our pod signal mounting kit. So this kit comes with 2 of these L brackets and a bunch of hardware. So we're gonna separate this kit into 2 halves. We're gonna retain 1 L bracket, 3 washers, 1 M6 16mm long screw, and one of our locking nuts. This will make it possible to install this on one side. We are going to get rid of this type of hardware. If you're using this kind of hardware, you can't really use that to mount the signals on. You need something with a little bit more holding power, and that's why we send you all that necessary hardware we have with the kit. I will retain the other side on for now. It makes it easier to deal with. Our L bracket has a slotted side and a side with a round hole. The slotted side will go on the back of our license plate setup. In the front here, we will use 2 washers, penetrate with our screw, and on the other side, we will use 1 washer and the locking nut. In the meantime, I will just be making this finger tight with my bracket withdrawn as far out as it'll go. We'll make it easier to install our signal on there. Like you'll see in just a couple seconds, let's remove the nut and washer off our signal stock. And for this, we need to remove one wire at a time because the bullet connectors that these wires terminate in don't fit through all at once. We'll get our signal through, and just want to make you guys aware, we do have our logo on the back. You want to choose the signal that makes this logo upright. Another indicator of the correct side of signal is this half round here goes up top, whereas the bottom has a flat, straight edge. So now, let's go ahead and put our washer back on. Again, one wire at a time. And then the nut. Now I'll get those threads started. And just get my signal positioned roughly with the lens perpendicular to the ground. Now get this guy more inboard and we could tighten it down a little bit more, still by hand. We will finish it all up with tools after we've made the connections. So now, if you're using our standard fender eliminator, you can go ahead and get these wires in through the OEM hole in the undertail and get it up to the top, and we could pick up the installation from here. If you've upgraded to our Elite 1 fender eliminator that features a CNC machined aluminum black anodized undertail closeout, then you will have this mounted just above your license plate bracket, and you will have to make use of this wiring hole before you connect anything additional to it. So just a consideration depending on what kit you guys bought. So let's get our wire in here. Get it all the way to the top. We'll have our wires penetrating through the undertail. We will identify the black negative, yellow positive using our harness converters. It is very simple. We just go yellow to yellow, black to black. Then we have these insulating caps that do have a tendency to move during riding, so we do want to lock them in place. For that, I have some electrical tape. I'll make sure that they're covering all the metal components and get them locked down here. Once I have a nice tight wrap over these components, I will find the appropriate plug here. On our harness we have gray and black. Gray is left, black is right, so since I'm working on the right signal, I will plug into that. I'll quickly test this signal, make sure it's flashing. It's looking good. And now we'll just repeat the procedure on the other side. All right, so now let's take care of tightening down on all these fasteners and also making sure everything's level and placed properly. I'm gonna start on this side, get it moved inboard. We started with it all the way out. I'm gonna move it more inboard so that I don't have any ugly slot showing. And I think this is pretty good here. Now using a 10mm box wrench, I'm going to hold that nut on the other side of this assembly and use a 4mm Allen to turn in this screw. When I get closer to bottom out, I'm going to leave a little bit of adjustability, make sure that the axis of my signal is parallel to the ground, and then tighten it down all the way. Now I'm going to make sure that my lens surface is perpendicular to the ground, and that way we're shooting light straight back. Now at this point we're going to use a 14mm box wrench to tighten down on the nut that fixes the stock to our bracket. Just a quick note here, you are tightening a nut onto a threaded component that's been overmolded by rubber. If you tighten down too much, you will probably rip it out of the threads. So all you need to do is make sure that there is enough preload on this connection and it won't rotate on you, it won't come off. And I think I've done that here. I'm going to repeat the steps on the other side. And that looks pretty good to me. Last thing I want to do, this is not mandatory, but I like to keep my stuff neat here. There is a rubber boot inside here in the trunk compartment that could contain all of your wires, and a rubber grommet that all the wires go through. Typically it'll keep the wires taut for you, but I like to add these zip ties. They can actually be placed around the webbed components, web geometry of our license plate bracket, and then you just get the wires zip tied to our bracket, and that just makes for a neater installation. So I'm going to do that now. Now we can replace the seat, power up the bike, and see how these things look. I have left signal, right signal. As you can see, it's working as properly as the OEM setup will let it. Like I said in the intro, there is a flasher relay that controls your flash rate set by the factory to 85 cycles per minute if you have the proper current draw. Now with LED signals, we've decreased the current draw as compared to what the OEM signals draw, so now it'll flash a lot faster. And if for some reason you change your front signals, it'll go even faster or perhaps stay solid. So the really simple fix for that is our Gen 2F flasher relay. It's a plug and play component. This cap actually comes off. You could adjust the flash rate to your liking if you're not comfortable with the 85 cycles per minute. As an optional part, no harm will come to your electrical system if this flashes faster. It's just not flashing at the rate that OEMs typically set it at. That being said, I want to conclude this video. I love working on this bike. It's my favorite new toy. Hope you guys enjoy these videos. We do enjoy making them for you, and that's pretty much all I got. I invite you to tstindustries.com, where you'll find more info on these products and other products for this bike and other bikes like it.